All right, everybody, it's 6:30. I'll call the meeting to order and we'll start with the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America.
One nation, under God.
For anybody on Zoom, we're having a little trouble with the cameras. You should be able to hear on audio, but you won't get to see our pretty faces today.
I can see you guys.
See us? All right, wow.
You guys all looked back at me when I just said that, so I can see you guys.
We'll start with the review of last month's meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to accept last month's minutes. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
All right, next up, quick introduction to our new treasurer, Belinda Van der Merwe. She's over here. Dennis has been helping get her up to speed, and Jim as well. Right now, we have a whole treasury team.
Love it.
And for the bank's requirements, we do need to just note that she is a full-time appointee and her salary is at $53,000 a year. I'm going to start with a public comment period. If anyone here or on Zoom has anything to bring up, give a quick holler and you got 3 minutes. All right. Not hearing anybody, we'll close public comment and move on to the treasurer's reports.
You can have is the bills to review.
Yep.
Monday, keyed all those in last week, picked up really quickly and everything looked okay.
Yeah, I think everybody got eyes on it. Any questions on the bills, guys?
Nope.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve and pay the bills. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I abstain.
And next up is the department reports. Lynn, I guess is he on Zoom or is that who? All right. We will have some questions for him soon, just because there's a lot of info in the water treatment plant report. But the guys took care of a pretty major water main break. I think it was on like one of the coldest days, so that was a tough one. They had somebody come and look at the plant, and there's a full report in here as well. But there aren't prices on a lot of the recommendations, so obviously we'll have to dig in further. And then Lynn had asked, which I don't think we need to delay on, posting that there's available benches. Sometimes we get requests if an old one gets replaced, but if we've got 6 new spots over by the intake, right?
Yes.
It'd be a nice spot to put them, so maybe we can post something, or maybe it'll be our first text message. If we end up with.
Yeah, that would be lovely.
But if you guys in the office want to put something in the email, just letting people know that there's availability for memorial benches. Anything else to make a note of to talk to Lynn later, guys? All right.
Is there any place for parking down there other than right at the plant? I guess
You can, without like blocking the plant in, you can park like 4 or 5 cars.
Okay.
You can park along Ambrose too. A lot of people do park in front of their houses.
Okay.
All right, next up, we have the police. I don't think we have John with us. Some of you might already know, there was a wadding incident, which is when typically gamers who lose get angry, call the police and tell them that the guy they lost to has a gun and is a danger. So we had a bit of thankfully a false panic here. The police all came down to
The call came through that he shot his girlfriend. She was in the tub. That was the call.
and they had a gun sitting on his lap. Turned out to be a swatting call. It was a fake. But
yeah,
the entire Jefferson County and the state troopers all like converged on the town, on the
Yeah.
village. And they were looking for the apartment that turned out. The poor woman, when she finally came out, was like, what's happening?
I imagine.
Scared the, like,
Yeah.
it was insane. It was
It's,
crazy.
I asked John, he said it happens a couple times a year in the county.
It's just weird that it happened here of all
Yeah.
places.
So I only brought it up because if people have heard, rumors about a shooting or something, I didn't want, I wanted to make sure everyone knew, but. Doesn't look like anything else in the police here.
Probably
It
good.
might have been written before. No, it was a week ago. Wow. Anyways, next up, you got anything from the fire? Or you want to wait until? Go to Dave. Here,
Yeah, you should have my report. Nothing. Well, we did receive a letter that we awarded grant for, this is reimbursement grant for purchasing an electric vehicle. It's the police vehicle.
Okay,
So we're gonna get $7,500.
Nice.
all right.
Other than that, I think it's all,
Thanks for putting that together.
was that?
Thanks for putting that together.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, that was a pain, but yeah.
All right. Any questions for Dave, guys?
I'm just seeing that public forum on the zoning got canceled. Was
Yeah,
that the
yeah,
weather?
I think, yes. There
Okay.
was some sort of pushback on that, and so we're gonna handle it a different way. I
Okay.
can discuss
Okay.
it.
I was looking also, I don't know if, well, Janet's not here, but there are, Chicago's like chock full of vestibules, and they do have like a pretty straightforward vestibule law.
Yeah, we've been looking at various,
Those places where it gets cold
yeah, we
enough.
got some samples from other places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, I mean, we'll be glad to look at that.
Yeah. I know that like every single restaurant has them because otherwise you lose all your heat right away. But- All right, any other questions for Dave, guys? All right, we'll move on to the visitor center.
I put my report in yesterday, I had a chance to look at it. The main things for us this month is the quotes for the carpeting, that should have been attached to the last couple pages of my report. We have quotes from Bellos and Adams, McCarr's out of Watertown and Hangett Township out of Watertown, all for carpet tiles, all for installation as well. We'd like to go with Bellos, they're the cheapest one, and they will also move our furniture, which we're excited about. So we have to get DPW's help to do that.
And this is built into the budget for the year, right?
This is, yes, and it's, we are, all three of these quotes actually are under budget.
Okay.
So presumably we could go with any one of them, but yeah. We're fine to go with the cheapest one.
Honestly, I have no, what's the square footage about?
It is, so they measured and gave us extra tiles. And so it's like, it was about 1,900, it was like 1,892,
Okay.
something like that, yeah.
It's like $4 a foot. Not bad.
Yes, that's the cost plus installation.
Yeah.
In each case.
Great. Do they give you guys a timeline or?
So with Bellos, they said they could get us in probably first week of April.
Okay.
Once we get the pay to our partner, we can see if we can get that up a little bit, because we want to have as much time as possible to prepare for the season, and also the site exhibit that's going to be with us for the.
Did you guys pick a date for that yet?
We haven't set specific dates.
It's the guy that
Yeah. He's gonna install it sometime after the carpet goes in.
Okay, but it's gonna be spring then.
Oh, yeah,
Great.
well, yes, probably spring.
Awesome. Yeah, actually, we do have to vote on that, guys. 'Cause
The
it's
only thing
over.
I'm thinking is if you do it in April, we won't get the bill until May. It's really close to the end of the budget season. Is that gonna be an issue?
You know what? We can just ask them to send the bill. Yeah. I don't think they'll be super mad at that.
I just would like to
No,
make
it's
sure
your
it's
call.
within this year's budget to make sure it doesn't carry over. Okay.
Yeah, we can ask for the bill early.
Meetings in May,
Yeah.
right, to pay.
But still, if like they don't send the bill until May, some places don't.
I just wanna make
Actually,
sure.
I'm looking 2 bills if we go with Bellos, because their installer is a contractor. But I've told them that those 2 bills still need to obviously add up.
Sure.
to the total that they've given us. Yeah.
Okay.
We need a motion to approve that.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll make that motion to approve Belloff's for the carpet installation.
A second.
Too slow, Ron.
I know. The
All in
delay.
favor?
Aye.
All right, any other questions for Kathy, or Kathy, you have anything else for us?
The only thing I wanted to point out, we're still working on getting a final quote to do the exterior repairs that were also part of our capital budget. I've got two, we're hoping to get a third one later this week.
Okay.
Eventually putting us off because they're on other jobs.
I thought you had a price for the columns. You did that already, and then Lynn ended up doing the painting part of it.
So the original quote that we had gotten was doing the entire building.
And he didn't want to do it if it wasn't the paint.
So he was willing to come back, but he wanted to go back through and look at everything and give us a new quote based on that. So it's basically DPW did 3 sides of our building, and so this is now a quote for just the front facade of the building. And
It's
so
a complicated one, so I
yeah,
can't
but
just divide it.
it's also, yeah, because the front obviously has the columns, which all need to be replaced. There's some porch repair that needs to be done.
Did the
So-
DPW say that they wouldn't paint the front?
The DPW said that they would paint the front, but since we had to do repairs, it made sense to get them to do the other contractor to do the repairs first.
Okay.
I didn't ask them about coming back.
I just know that they painted the other 3.
They did paint the
So
other 3 sides, yeah. But the paint
We
is
can
probably a
talk
small
more
portion
about
of
that.
that.
I am not committing him to anything. I just was
Yeah,
asking
yeah,
if
no,
he
no.
was talked to.
Once, we can talk to Lynn about if they want to paint it after.
And if he doesn't, that's fine. I just,
Yeah, maybe just so that guy doesn't have to think about it twice, let him know to do like a with and without paint
Okay.
version of the quote, that'll help.
Okay, yeah, he's got it all itemized, so I think we can easily just say,
Great.
okay, just like take this one piece out if that's the case. But yeah, we need a third quote now and make sure that it's apples to apples. It's the
Sure.
Same things.
Yeah.
right.
Great. All right, visitor center is good. We'll move on to the planning board. I don't think we have anybody here. Anybody waiting on Zoom?
Nope.
We got, go ahead, Ron.
No, it's just me and Courtney on Zoom right now, so nobody from the planning board.
Oh, yeah, you can see the crowd. Thanks. All right, next up is engineers. All right, Brandon.
Right, some exciting news, the Village of Sackets Harbor was awarded the Structures Project of the Year for the American Public Works Association for the Central New York chapter. Over here, we've got some, not to spoil it for the intake too, but we've got some display posters just to kind of show, highlight some of the features of the project, and the banquet will be, then the award will be presented this Thursday at the ceremony. So these are just some display posters that kind of at a glance to see some of the progress of the projects, some of the key highlights.
Do you have a graphic that you can send us that we can share out to our residents that it won an award?
Yeah, sure.
It'd be kind of cool.
PDF,
It'd be better than us taking a picture of that.
I mean,
Well, they've probably got the,
I just didn't know if you had the graphic of that maybe that you could just email and then I can throw that out and we can throw it on the email. I think people would like to know that
Yeah.
that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, we've got that electronically.
That would be great.
As far as the projects go, not too much to report. For Market Square Park, phase 1 is complete. Phase 2 is substantially complete. No billings from Lawman for this phase 2. Same with Brown Shores, it's substantially complete. We're kind of in a waiting game, waiting for spring to do the final cleanups, but that is substantially complete as well. Yeah, and I guess as far as Brown Shores goes, I was talking with Mr. Uhas about the disbursement request and kind of pushing that one forward. There's probably close to $200,000 that would be eligible for disbursement. And so we can give him the information he needs to put that together.
Yeah, so 95% you get back when
Yes, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Great.
Yeah. And I've been working with FEMA, trying to go back, I've glanced over that for Market Square Park, trying to get disbursement for that. It's kind of been a task, but I think we're working through it. I just have a closeout document for Allison, saying I need to finish for signature. So hopefully we're getting close to that, but I think when we think we're getting close, another disaster happens, and we get, that goes to the top of the pile, so.
just gotta get it done before FEMA disappears.
So hopefully we're close with that. And as far as the other projects, the I study, Alex, will just want to, it's kind of just kind of try to get that completed, so.
Sounds good.
The water intake project, we're still working with some of the funding agencies. It's just a small process. One more on the American Public Works Association. So this won the award, the Central New York chapter. There's 6 chapters in the state. So these projects that we submitted then compete against other chapters within the state. I mean, there is potential if it was the state, then it could go to nationals. But you know, we'll take one step at a time as we go through.
Cash prize that comes with that.
It'd be
Or to
good.
just make us famous.
Also, there's be some plaques too that we're getting as well. Bring one of those and the village can put it on here in the village hall if they want to. I didn't mention it, but the intake project won environmental project of the year. 2 for 2.
Yeah.
That's great. Any other questions for BCA guys? I did just forward you, sometimes I never remember who on your team does which things. I'm sorry if I'm.
No,
confusing
you
you.
was
It's the reception.
whoever.
But the infrastructure agreement draft from Mike Yankovic and
Oh, okay.
just to look it over, see if you see any issues or problems, and then Lynn's gonna do the same, and then we'll circle up, maybe meet internally and then give them feedback before they make a formal presentation to the board.
Yeah.
All right, next up is the clerk's office.
And we don't have a lot to report. We're still working to get the billing software straightened out. It's been coming. We're getting there. Still on time.
That's good. All right, if we need to get Mike back in for the cameras, we'll do it.
Okay.
Any questions for Peggy, guys? All right. Next up, we got community orgs, and we have Scott from the chamber here. You want to kick us off?
Yep. So March 6th is the Chamber's annual meeting. It'll be at the ballroom, 6 p.m. So opportunity for public to come in and chamber members to hear kind of what the vision for the chamber is for the coming year and some of the different plans and initiatives that we've got going there. Visitor guide product or soliciting ads and getting that information collected. We're working with Kathy and other marketing committee members to get that going and have that ready for the summer. And then just our continued year-round marketing efforts. And so advertising on Fort Drum as well as radio commercials through community broadcasters at the moment. And then we got our invoice for the Thousand Islands digital marketing campaign. So the village covers 3/4 of that and the chamber picks up the 4th. So we paid that order. We'll pay that out here very shortly. Get that, just keep it going. We're open year round. So,
Awesome.
for me.
And you're good with the way we have the event structured. I just want to make sure that, you know, we get a heads up, ideally before. I mean, we've given a few of them out retroactively. It's just that I'd love to be in a place where we run out. We haven't yet, so it hasn't been a problem, but I just remind people because if you apply retroactively and we've already given out 10, then that money's gone.
Yeah, it's.
But budget season's coming up. We're gonna actually schedule some meetings, probably tonight if everyone can. And then, you know, so you'll have an idea of when to bring your proposals in and stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Any questions for Scott, guys? Any other community org stuff? Your meeting, right?
Yeah, it's this Thursday. Yeah. Unity Hotel. So, yeah.
All right, I think that's all we've got here. All right, we'll move on to board reports and I'll start. I've got like 8 items, but most are really quick. I'm gonna try and motor through because it's starting to snow worse. All right. Do we want to vote on the water sewer bill flip? We talked about last week or well, only 3 weeks ago, switching the minimum of the water and sewer bills from 100 and 125 to 125 and 100. Just a review, the reason is our water fund is sufficiently funded. Is it sewer or water? I got
Sewer.
sewer is sufficiently funded to do the repairs we need to do and water isn't. And right now sewer is at 125 and water is at 100. So by switching it, we're not really supposed to, actually, we're very much not supposed to move funds between the sewer, water and general fund, but we can change how we bill. And basically we have more funds accrued in the sewer and less than we need in the water. It would basically, for most residents, it would be no net change. It would change a few depending on like.
Would it change them in the positive or the negative? I just don't want somebody coming to the office being mad.
So nobody will be negative in the exception that, no, I think no one, because the only multiples are sewers. So some businesses pay like 2 sewer units.
Right, that's what I was trying to figure out.
And
So we're
people that
switching.
don't use sewer will pay slightly more. So like in like where I live, I have septic. So we'll actually pay a higher water rate by $25 if we're at the minimum. But that's probably only about 30 people. Man, I don't know, there's probably 50.
Out past this, out on.
Well, do you know the number? How many people do we not have?
They're all on.
Part of Brown Shores is too.
So it's part of Bolton's.
Is that? Not many. I mean, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't have a number in my head right now.
I mean, Frank, we need to increase the funds in the water one way or the other. So the minimum's the simplest. And it would keep, I would say 90% of our residents from having any cost change. But we need to know shortly because when do we need the billing change is going to affect when? March 1?
More usage, March 1.
Yeah.
So that's why tonight is
Be
the
June 18th,
date,
I was
If we want to change it for this quarter.
so June 1, which is next budget year.
Okay.
That's an urgency, one of the 2 rates, yeah. So
Yeah.
just flip flopping the minimums of water, sewer, and sewer. 4 streets that have been talked about. We've already got the funds for the sewer. Okay? For that tentative estimate. Still have the funds for the water.
Right, so how many billing cycles or years would give us enough?
No.
If we flip flop,
How many?
yeah, I mean, are we
For the
talking
foreseeable
years?
future. For the
Yeah.
foreseeable future.
Okay. Okay, I just,
Because even after the project's done, we need to start accruing.
Yeah,
capital.
I just-
This has been 20 years of slowly building up the capital funds by billing slightly more than our
Okay.
variable costs.
Say 10 to be conservative, Greg.
Oh, just
10
to
years.
put a
Okay.
number on it.
I'm just thinking of the handful of people that are gonna be negatively affected.
Yeah,
If
and
there was
I
a way to
know
let
that
them know what
Only about 20% of accounts don't meet the minimum anyway.
everybody's always over.
Yeah, and particularly like a lot of the seasonal places are affected and they'll be affected the least because they're only built for 2. So I think it
Yeah.
will be pretty,
Okay,
a low number of people will be
okay.
affected and upset and
All this is doing is putting off the fact that we can fund the water potentially in 10 years. If we change it like that.
well, it means when we do, if we don't get a WIA grant and we decide to do the project, it'll mean less debt we need to
Financing,
take on.
okay.
If we do get the WIA grant, it means when
We keep
all
hoping
is said and
that-
done, we have, it shores up our capital and I mean, to me, it's just more sensible to have, if we have one account that's over provisioned and one that's not, we should balance that a little bit.
Is there any way that we can send something to those people so that it's just not a surprise?
Right, that's,
I just don't want it to be a
or I guess
surprise.
unless you let everybody know that we're
Yeah,
flip
I
flopping.
mean, we can look up pretty
I
easily
just
the
think it would
people
be
that have been
respectful enough to
paying,
let them know.
have been paying the minimum and don't have sewer are the only people that would have a net change.
Explain the minimum. What do you mean by that?
No matter if you use 10 gallons or what's it, is it 4,000? Up to 6,000 gallons, you pay $100 for water. They're now gonna be paying 125. That's mostly apartments, which are on sewer. And so they'll be they won't have any net change because they're gonna pay their sewer's flat, so they're gonna pay 100 instead of 125 sewer. And their water, they're gonna be paying 125 instead of 100.
So people that have a septic system and aren't on the sewer at all.
Will pay $25 more if they were,
Or,
the water, the people will pay more for water.
yes.
If they, if so, like, if,
They don't have a sewer bill because they're on septic, so they
Yeah.
paid nothing right now.
so
Can't pay less than
very
nothing.
very few of the homes.
I just
Is it
know,
20%
my old
of-
house on County Route 75, we
Yeah.
had a septic. so I
20% of
just
our
asked.
accounts. Or sorry, is it 20%? Oh, there's some percent, it's like 20 to 30, I think, of our accounts are under the minimum. Most of those are the apartments. So,
But say they're not
so they're,
under the minimum,
yeah,
would they have an increase of $25?
only if they don't have sewer and they pay the minimum.
Alright.
Most people pay over the minimum and most people, most have sewer. So only people that are in both scenarios would be affected at all. It's probably a dozen or two.
Okay.
And we can pull the list,
Okay.
let them know. I think it makes sense to do. If we want to put it off, we can put it off a quarter. But at the end of the day, I don't think there's
I
gonna
mean,
be
if
a
we're
lot.
ready to do it and you want to make a motion, go ahead.
All right, I'll make a motion to switch the sewer and water minimum bills.
Yeah.
And no other change to the amounts though, so 125. For sewer will change to 100 and 100 for water will change to 125. And the variable rates will stay the same.
I was gonna say, I would second it with a caveat that we figure out who those dozen people are. and notify.
We can do that.
I mean, to.
All right, any other questions, guys?
That's been the rates for a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah.
See a lot of communities having to bump both
Yeah,
up as they do projects, so done very well.
we got
We got
40 year ahead of time taking care of us, so. All right, so we have a motion, a second. Any other questions before we vote? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 That was probably one of the longer ones. The water rate, I didn't send a letter over to the town yet because I couldn't get my head around the way it was phrased. Jim and I figured it out. I've had let Beth know, but I'll send the official letter out to the town. That's for the $6.
Motion.
We did. Oh, yeah, I just, it was stipulated that I made a change, but that's why I was having the problem that we fixed today. Quick note, yeah,
Dollars for June's billing.
Yeah.
Currently it's $5.
correct. Yeah, I just wanted to update them. We did vote on that last time, but I hadn't sent it out yet and I didn't want to, no, yes. I did get a couple of residents talking to me about fluoride. And I learned that in New York, it is not a Department of Health mandate. It's recommended and left up to the villages. About 70% of people do, or 70% of water systems use fluoride. I'm sure we'll hear from Mr. Kennedy on it. We'll see how that goes. But for now, I'm not recommending any changes, but are people talking about wanting to remove it? And we are allowed to, if we decide to. I would suggest it go to a ballot resolution because it's a pretty big deal if we decide to go that way. I'm not concerned with fluoride in the water, but I know some people are, so. Something to think about. I have a meeting, got a schedule with you as well, with Town of Watertown. They want to sit with their engineers about potentially buying water from us. We've got about 2x what we use capacity total. Could really help with shoring up the capital accounts after we pay for the new line replacements if we have to do
The
that.
rate to the town would be discussed.
Yeah, we could change, yeah, so
Then
the town rate of $6 is based on the town using 37% of our water, the town of Hounsfield. If the town of Watertown comes on and starts buying water, then that rate would change and we could lower prices for them as well. But they want to talk in the next week or two and we'll sync up.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I already talked about that with you. All right, budget meetings. Do we want to, is everyone comfortable getting some on the books now? Okay. Belinda, these are, so it's basically the 5 board members and you for most of these. And then we have different groups come in at different times. So is there any, I know Jim mentioned to me, if we want him at some, he is out of town between March 8th and 20th. I don't think we need Jim at all of them though, so,
I'm out of town from the 28th of February until the 22nd of March.
okay,
I'm international. I'm 6 hours ahead.
okay. So that's the 28th of Feb. Okay. Do you guys want to do a start meeting before then, maybe the 26th? There's something else going on the 20th. Oh, that was your, that was the date for your thing, right? The 26th, and that's not, okay. So that could work Wednesday. Does that work for everybody or
Do a budget meeting on February 26th.
in a couple weeks?
I can do it.
Okay. You guys want to say 6 o'clock? Is that too early? Do you want to do earlier or keep it at 6?
6 is fine.
It was good.
Okay, so we'll do 6 on Feb 26th. And do we want to try and add now or do we want to make that part of? The meeting on the 26th.
Quicker we get it on a calendar, otherwise we're gonna run into issues
Okay.
like we did a couple of years ago where we
Yeah.
couldn't find times, so.
All right,
Rapid fire, 2 or 3 meetings.
so the next meeting we have generally is the 11th. Oh yeah, it's not a leap year, so we've got, it's the 11th again in March. Do we want to try and do something before that? I think we could start at 5 and do a budget meeting for an hour and a half and then do the board meeting. Since the days,
March 11th.
and then maybe we'll see how we are there after that.
You're saying 5 o'clock?
Yeah,
No, okay.
that'll be, it's a forced quick one because we'll have a proper meeting. And have Peggy bar the doors until 6:29. Do you want to just do the 26th again for March and see if, and then we can reschedule that if we need to?
Hey, is the same sequence, village committees, community, come in first with their proposed budgets. Then we do the regular budget sessions. How are we gonna structure this?
I think, honestly, 2 weeks, I think is plenty of time, given that they've all done this before, but it's just a question of if they can be available on the 26th or have someone here. I'm okay having that be the,
Structure?
I'm actually okay if they give us the report ahead of time, showing us what they, like, I don't even know if they physically have to be
Okay.
here.
yeah,
But I want something in writing
okay,
that shows what did they do with the money we gave them and why are they asking for whatever it is that they're asking now. I don't think it's
Okay.
unusual, I mean.
yeah, we don't need to have them come in then. And then if we have questions, they can come to a future.
Right, and we can always follow up if we, I mean, that's just my thinking.
Okay.
What was the deadline that we would need to?
I mean, if our first meeting is the 26th, I would say
We could do,
you would have to have it to us before the 11th.
that's what's a month.
Yeah.
Okay, so not before the February 26th.
Yeah, well, we can push that to.
For the,
Actually, you know what? That'd be great because then if we keep the focus of the 11th to that we can do in an hour and a half. And then if we do have questions, there's a public meeting right after.
correct.
Okay, I like that. All right.
Yeah, so I would say public organizations have their stuff to us before March 11th.
Cool.
And then we
And then
can
we'll
use
deal with
that as
other-
that meeting. We'll look.
Because there's plenty of other stuff to work on before that.
That's fine. So
Great.
we'll flip, okay, that's good. We'll flip it though. Normally we did that stuff. Yeah, that's okay. So we'll focus on the village stuff first, then the committee stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
And you said March 26th is the budget meeting. Is that one at 6? Okay.
Yeah, so February 26th and March 26th, 6 p.m.
Okay.
March 11th before the board meeting, 5 o'clock. And then we'll probably need another 1 or 2, but that's far enough out where we should.
The board, public hearing on the budget has to be honored before April 15th, okay?
Right, which means we
Okay.
have to be narrowing it down at that last March meeting.
Yeah.
Our board meeting for April
Night or
is 8th, so yeah, we're in good shape. Oh yeah, that's the,
Excuse me, March 26th at 6.
yes. Cool. Yeah, and then we can do that review, the public hearing at our April board meeting because it's the 8th.
Perfect.
If we need to squeeze another meeting in the week of April 1st, we can schedule it and tell Ron it's at 6 AM.
Let's do it. But
All right.
also, we always run into the same problem every year, so let's get in front of this one. The town, there's some things that we are beholden to the town as far as our budget numbers. So maybe we come to the 26th February call with all the town stuff, right? So rec committee, fire department, whatever other town things that we have to do, we should probably also be ready to have.
I think it's the onus of the rec committee to give us that information as well as the fire department. I've already asked them twice and I haven't gotten anything. So at this rate, they're gonna get what they got last year until I hear otherwise.
Well, Dennis,
So-
you're right there in the room and their budget season is done. Can you get us that information? What did they allocate for rec and what did they allocate for fire department?
I know, for the fire department, I think we got a copy of the current year budget for the fire department. We got a piece of that, and that's what we put in.
Okay, we don't have a copy of that. They haven't given that. They gave it to you. They didn't give it to us. And I've asked them for it 3 times. So Jim's out of town. They're
It might be easier to ask the
treasurer is in
town.
Florida, so it's probably faster to get it from you.
Well, I think they have totals on the report that. But I had the breakdown by month. I can send that to you.
Breakdown by month.
I think they had their budget by month.
The fire department budget is by
It's
month, but the
annually,
town
though.
contributes annually a fixed amount.
Yeah.
So that's, and we have the weird situation is their budget year starts before ours. We have we have an understanding that we contribute equally. And then they have to make the call earlier. So we're semi-obligated to just follow their lead, although if they do something crazy, we would have to just,
Well, I know that the treasurer literally just added a percentage and didn't even run it by their people.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, I want to see where that extra 10 or 15% is going, because he didn't put it before his chief. He didn't do any of it. He just tacked on 10% expecting someone to sign it, and the town did.
Yeah.
So I'm about to say no to that 10% because I want to know where's it going?
sure.
So I love them dearly, but they are a bunch of men that don't do their paperwork and they're supposed to.
Ron, I think the youth budget must have been, that came from the youth committee
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
they sent a request to the town.
so I
Request dollar amount. I was looking at the last couple of years, I think it was 12,500, but I'll have to confirm that it's in the 2025 budget.
Okay, so it looks like they didn't ask for more than, that was what they got last year.
I'm talking to Jeff and he's telling me right now he wants $1 million. So
Yeah, okay.
The whole fire navy. All right. I think that's good for budget meetings for now, and if we need to squeeze one in, we can. All right, last up for me is this resolution number 1, which the bank needs in order to get them to access everything. This is a roll call vote. Peggy,
Yes.
and do you need it read through?
No.
So essentially, this is just a resolution to give Belinda access to the bank accounts and cash management. I will make a motion. Pass resolution number 1. Which you all should have a copy of.
I'll second.
Any other questions about that before we do the vote? All right, Peggy?
Trustee Maleta.
Aye.
Trustee Tenza.
Aye.
Trustee Silva.
Hi.
Deputy Mayor Mildred.
I,
Mayor Manning.
Aye. All right. That is all for me for now. Next up, are any questions for me before we move on to Ron? Ron, you're up, sir.
hey, not a lot of updates this month since we just had a meeting 3 weeks ago. The rec committee did meet Sunday. I haven't gotten any notes just yet from those guys. I know there was a couple topics on the agenda to include the pickleball court out behind you guys. And I think the rec committee budget was also another topic. I will say this, Janelle Bova, she used to live in the town. She was a member of the rec committee. She no longer lives in the town, so she's no longer a committee, a member of the committee. So we have a vacancy for the rec committee. So we're working to replace that here with somebody. So that's all I have for the rec committee. LDC, I'm starting to see some email traffic about picking back up the surveying piece of the Platte South Ambrose area. So more to follow. I think when the warm weather gets here, we'll see a lot more action on the effort on South Ambrose. That's all I have as far as an update, pending your questions.
Thanks, Ron.
All right, thank you.
All right, Kelly.
I don't have all that much. Fire report calls, they only had 3 fire calls last month. 6 MVA and 17 EMS. They are still having a hard time with volunteers answering EMS calls. That will probably require a conversation within the few months. I am not sure what that's gonna look like, so, we can't force volunteers to come to those, so. I also have a meeting with the electronic, what was that called?
It's on.
Communication, it's called OnSolve, but I'm meeting with the company OnSolve on Thursday to talk about an electronic communication device with our residents. And we're scheduling like a demo. He's gonna walk me through how it works and all of that. And hopefully I will have pricing and whatnot prior to budget season, so we can talk about it and decide if it's something we want to do. And that's all I got.
Greg?
Well, I see we've got the capital reserve accounts under old business, so that's good to see. Just a question, we budgeted for a part-time grant writer. We're coming up on a year. I know you've explored some possibilities. Nothing has come to fruition. Are we,
Oh,
doing
we
anything?
sort of put it off partly because of just the general hiring bonanza that we've been trying to
Yeah.
get through. And I know Dave has been talking to Johnny in the office about taking on additional work, and how we would square that, whether he'd work additional hours is up to discussion. But yeah, it kind of got pushed almost the whole year at this point. I wouldn't be against posting to see if there's anyone interested. What's your feel? How's your brother-in-law? Or cousin-in-law, I guess.
Well, I talked him onto the chamber board,
Oh,
so, but his situation in Colorado is evolving, where he'll be in New York more, so timing may be right.
I think if we, it may end up making more sense to have a few people dabbling instead of a dedicated person. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I think.
I would just worry about the lack of commitment with people dabbling, like if we're gonna. I don't know, I think it's gonna be hard to fill a position like that,
Yeah.
but we certainly haven't really
No,
put
yeah.
it out there either, so we can't really.
Yeah, I think,
I'm not opposed to, I mean, if Johnny wants to do it and he would like to take on some additional duties, perhaps we can compensate him to do it if that's available.
This,
I mean, he is already working with us. I would almost like to say that would be my first thought, but if he doesn't want to do it, then we can look.
he said he's interested. I know he is also doing, he's working a second job, so it could help.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering if we could offer him more as an offset. He wouldn't need to work that second job.
That was, yeah, that was
I-
kind of what we're
he
trying to.
has grant writing experience, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
he's
where I
very-
would,
He's very interested in it.
okay, I would rather pursue that way and compensate him so that he can get rid of that second job and hopefully make it
Why
so.
don't I'll sync up with him a little more and Dave and have something more than, wouldn't it be nice for y'all to
Right.
consider
Yeah.
at the next meeting?
I mean, my thought was to have like a proposal for you all by the start of the budget.
I think that
So
would
if
be
you could-
great, and
yeah,
if he's willing to do that, I mean, to me, I would rather go that, he already works for us, I would like to compensate him and
Yeah.
keep him here
And then-
and.
I mean, I would like to see it stay in the budget.
Yeah.
You know, going
Yeah, but it
forward.
could roll over to instead of,
Well, sure, yeah, but I don't wanna, you know, we put it in there, we didn't use it, so,
Of course.
so eliminate it.
Yep.
You know.
Okay.
Okay. Good. No, that sounds good. That's all I had.
all right. Any questions for Greg? All right, Sarah, you're up.
I sent that email out to you all regarding the committee assignments. And
I assumed Alex answered.
I have not, yeah, no, I've had
I
it.
was going to, but I don't want to jump in. I thought it's.
No, you're good. I'll get that to you in the next
So
couple
I
of
think
days.
the library's been handed off to me, which is fine. I'm happy to take whatever needs to be taken.
It's just attending meetings so that they have a voice and then you bring back.
I've been to a couple of them. It's a hard time of the day for me with the kiddos, but
I had the same issue
Yeah,
with the
it's a
marketing
really
committee. The time is hard.
but you know, that's one, I don't know.
No, that's on me. I meant to get back to you and I've been slammed for a bit, but we'll, so it's weird. Three weeks apart meetings is strange.
Yeah, just any clarification, and I will work in the library as often as I can, but like I
Okay.
said, I had it on my calendar and I was planning to go to the one from January, and then there was a snowstorm that day, so they pushed it to the next Tuesday and I just couldn't. So
No worries.
I think it's just to kind of help, like we've provided AEDs for them. We provide them, you know, they needed some assistance with their roof. It's just so that they have a
sure, like.
board member there to kind of help. It's the only reason I go to fire department meetings. It's for them to tell me issues and concerns and then I bring it back.
Yeah.
That part I understand. I just,
You know, who
it
else?
seems like everybody has a couple different ones, and
Yeah.
that's really the only one that I've attended or kind of been
Gotcha.
Okay.
directed to. So I feel like I need to maybe pull
Was
a
the
little
other
bit
one
more
the
weight.
chamber?
So originally the idea was that the newest board member would roll into like community liaison because it's the quickest way to get in touch with the most people. And so the idea was you could do like library, chamber. What was the third? It wasn't
I don't
fire.
remember if it was yours, the Heritage. I don't remember.
No, Greg is the heritage.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, see, that's what, I think that was my confusion then, because then I was like, well,
It
you
was-
guys are already going to those.
Yes.
So maybe I'm only supposed to go to the library because nobody else is going to that.
Yeah, it was library,
Okay.
chamber, maybe it was Can-Am, maybe those are the three. But
Remember.
either way, I'll dig in
Okay.
and we'll.
Yeah, let me know.
Yeah.
That way I can.
I did
plan
keep
ahead
in
better.
touch with the, senior citizens, but I didn't attend meetings, but I just touch base with them.
Yeah.
I think it's just so that they know that they have someone that they can go to if there are issues. So
Sure.
it's really
They
just
have
like a
that
reach
point of
out even.
contact,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just easier for them to.
Should we, not to create work, but should we, have a presence on the housing?
So in
No.
theory,
Okay.
I mean, you can.
No, I'm not volunteering myself.
I heard you volunteer yourself.
don't, we don't have any direct oversight. You could be on both,
No, but I mean,
Um,
we've been
but they.
in
yeah,
active dialogue
they're,
with them for quite a while.
They're pretty communicative on their own. Or I feel like Betsy is.
Okay.
So, I think it's quiet now because no one expects any construction to happen in the meantime. And we did allocate some funds for them.
Right,
But again, like, we're not gonna go fix a sidewalk right now. All the potholes are nice and smooth with all the snow in them.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, no.
Cool. All right, any other questions for Sarah? Okay, on a correspondence, I have the Dank report. There is, for anyone who wants to dig into it, a little detail on some of the water issues, that also correlate with the water plant study earlier, the docs. The Dank one's a little more jargony, so I'm not super familiar with a lot of it, but it's in there if you want to take a look. This is the only correspondence I have besides the fluoride thing, which I already brought up. For old business, we have the end of year certification of return taxes. That's resolution number 2. This is a yearly thing. There's nothing new in here, except we're basically authorizing the county to re-levy taxes that were not paid. And that's resolution 2 of 2025.
I'll make a motion to accept. You have to read it or wait, you have to do a roll call.
I do have to do it.
Okay, sorry, I started to make a motion.
No, the motion, yeah, you gotta do that first.
Okay, I'll make a motion to accept resolution 2.
And again, we will go with trustee Maleta,
Aye.
trustee Townsend,
Aye.
deputy mayor Children. And trustee Silver.
Aye.
Ron, can you hear Peggy?
I'm sorry, yeah, I was muted. Aye. Yep.
And
Did you
Mayor
forget my name,
Moore.
Peggy? Is that what happened?
I'm sorry?
I thought, did you forget my name?
Yes, she did.
No,
The run out of order, I think, is the aye for me.
thank you.
Not even an hour in, guys. Can't get goofy yet. All right.
Ron's not here to keep us going.
All right. Then I had the water rate, but we already dealt with that. And we have resolution 3 and 4, which are mostly identical, for the two, reserve funds. We've gone over these, a few times, just wanted to give everyone time to look it over. It's the first time we're actually presenting them as resolutions, but I didn't notice any changes from the last discussion. It's just that they're now typed up in resolution form. Any questions on either of these guys?
I was glad to see them finally come to fruition.
So we have a resolution number 3 is for the capital improvements. And resolution number 4, we probably have to do something. So we'll start with resolution 3. I'll make a motion, pass resolution 3 for the capital improvement reserve fund.
And this is also a roll call vote. Trustee Maleta,
Aye.
trustee Townsend.
Aye.
Trustee Mayor
Aye.
Trustee Silver.
Aye.
And Mayor Mitchell.
Aye. And the next one up is the sister resolution. This is for the equipment reserve fund. Resolution number 4.
I'll make a motion to accept resolution 4.
I'll second.
Trustee Maleta,
Aye.
trustee Townsend,
Aye.
deputy mayor Children,
Aye.
trustee Silver,
Aye.
and Mayor Mitchell.
Aye. All right. Next up, we have the new and improved and date accurate 1812 event. Main changes are the dates on the form, and then also they provided the map. They are asking for support on the 5K, basically just to have a bar. I think we can do it with police or with DPW barriers on Ray and Main for like 20 minutes. It's half a mile in. They start across from the brew pub and run down. This is on the second to last page of the map. They run over to Edmond, do a quick loop back down Ray, and then out the last block of May before heading around the battlefield. Likely they'll be pretty thin by then too. It's a half mile in, so
Has John seen this? He saw the original one with the wrong date.
yeah, I think.
Did we just have
He
to?
did sign on.
Okay, then that's, then
Okay,
yeah.
I didn't see a signature, but good.
Just making sure
Yeah.
he saw that they need police support.
Yeah, and then the rest of the loop, they're running on the left side of the road, so. And then they do have. We don't require they show us their state permit before, because they've got a lot of action going on the state park. But that's for them to hit, we don't interface, okay,
The only thing we asked for was the certificate of insurance.
great.
I'll make a motion to accept the 1812 application.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Start saying second, like every few seconds, and you'll catch one.
Greg, did Greg beat me on that one? Oh, jeez.
The lag makes it,
Sorry, Ron.
You might have actually beat him in reality, but by the time we heard you.
Second.
You can have the adjournment.
All right. So, we got one more in here that wasn't, oh, no, sorry, it is a new business. It's the marathon event application. We had already approved them for the dates, but this is their actual, proper application. And I believe they have it also.
Organized, I'm not concerned with. I'll make a motion to accept the marathon's application.
And do we have everything we needed for that one too, Peggy? Okay, I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you for. All right, that's it for new business. Unless any of you have something you wanna go over?
Did they have a question? Do we have to do anything on this water? We don't have anything to do with it.
Not yet. We need to discuss what Lynn wants
I
to.
just pulled it out and I was like, wait, there was a question I needed to ask.
Yeah, we'll just need to sync up with Lynn and
Okay.
decide what he wants to
Do
do
with
about
it.
all that,
Okay.
but
Cause
I don't feel like we can read that without him here and actually interpret,
Okay.
because he knows more about what of that stuff needs to be replaced urgently or what might be just the guy upselling us.
Gotcha.
All right, if there's nothing else, we'll have one brief public comment period. See if anyone has popped up, well, I don't think there's anyone new.
Just gonna mention, Bug Hill Conference at Turning Stones coming up and,
End of March. Okay. It's like 2 years, it's been a year since I last saw.
Since the last one, I'll-
Oh, crap. Okay. All right. No other public comment. We'll close public comment and Ron, you wanna, we'll give you a couple seconds to.
Second.
Beautiful.
You gotta make you gotta make the motion first. I make a motion to adjourn the board meeting for this month.
All right, all second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Wow,
Thanks, Ron.
50.
Thanks.
Yeah,